talking with Christopher Walken, who left college in the middle of a psychology class. Now, before we change the subject, when kids say to you, should you stay in school or should you get out and start looking for work, it's kind of hard for you to convince them, as some people do, that your education is more important.
Well, it's a feeling, and I did, my generation growing up, you remember that we were all told to be doctors and lawyers, and had to go to school, and I don't regret having left. I left in order to get back into show business, and just kept going.
And the idea of school as it presented to you was to train you for something you didn't want to do particularly anyway.
In a way, and I wasn't that good at it anyway. I thought at some point about what I might do otherwise, and I really couldn't think of anything. So,
yeah. You know, as with anybody you've seen in a number of roles, ever so often you will flash a look, and it will remind me of a specific role. That scary character you played in Biloxi Blues. Biloxi Blues?
Yes, the sergeant.
Yeah, the sergeant.
With the steel plate in his head.
Yeah, yeah. You convinced me you had a steel plate in your head, and you could all. But I wonder if you get tired of being described. People seem to be almost falling all over each other to think of another way to describe whatever they see as your mysterious qualities or whatever. One description, I don't know if you ran across it, that he has "don't hit me eyes, but don't just try it, buddy jaw." Can you reverse those?
Yeah, I guess.
It doesn't say what your nose is saying, but
I think that
most of your features seem to be saying something to this writer anyway.
Movies are very expensive to make, and if you demonstrate to a producer that you can do something, chances are you'll be asked to do it again. I think it's just a pragmatic fact about the movies that you're less likely to be asked to do something that you haven't done before than something that you've done. Sinister things, villainous types. I kind of got a ball rolling on it somewhere, and it sticks. I'm happy. I'm happy about it. It keeps me working.
And you play a variety of them. The Deer Hunter was, I guess, without a doubt, the movie that you might say did it for you, in the sense that it was not only an Oscar-winning role, but
it could have started there, because I shot myself in the head. It leaves an impression.
Yeah. Don't want to try this at home.
People still in restaurants, people will wave at me and go.
Yeah. As long as that's what they're referring to, you're okay.
It's a way of saying hello.
Not everybody gets that reaction. The obvious question would be, did you do a lot of research? Actors are always asked this, but I know part of the answer already, because tell me if I'm right. You found veterans did not want to talk a great deal about maybe the ones that could have been most helpful.
That's true. In the case of The Deer Hunter, of course, I hadn't really been making movies that long, and I did a lot of research. Since then, I've found that it doesn't really do me much good. It's better to go with what I know. But in the case of The Deer Hunter, yes, I did. I went and spoke to people and tried to, absorb those details. But it's true that very few wanted to talk to me about it.
Would you make an appointment with a guy and then he'd say, "I just can't talk about it"?
Yeah.
Once he got there, or would they just refuse right away and just say, "I don't"? I guess what I'm asking is, did you get into a scene where someone said, I was stationed and I'm sorry, I can't talk about it. I thought I could, but I can't. Wasn't that?
No, it was just a consistent reluctance to speak of it.
You had a brother?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Has he ever loosened up about it? Or do you have a feeling he would like to talk about it?
No, still never has.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to him at the time too, but.
Now, failing getting that, did you then have to think, well, what can I use from my acting training, or what in my life corresponds to?
It's funny. Well, we're talking about, of course, a movie that I did a long time ago.
Yeah,
it's a long time since I saw it, but I do remember being in Bangkok and having an identical experience that I had when I was a kid and sent to summer camp. I used to go to camp once in a while, and it was terrible. It was only about 2 hours from where I lived, but I felt that I'd gone to Mars and that I was never getting back. And it was something that always happened to me as a kid. I'd only need to go an hour from where I lived, and I just wouldn't know where I was. And and that flashed back on me very much. So it's just a kind of homesickness that I related to.
Betrayal of sending you off to camp.
Yeah, getting lost.
Yeah. Are you happy with the way the post office has treated Elvis Presley?
Yeah, and it's funny you should say that. Somebody just gave me a big block of stamps. And in fact, one of my little hobbies is writing. And when I was doing Batman, I had quite a lot of time to spend in my trailer. A movie like that, so many technical things involved that it takes a long time. Yeah. And I got about 20 books on Elvis and wrote a play about him.
Are we likely to see this?
I wouldn't mind.
Was it a one-act play?
It runs about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Depends on who's doing it.
Bring me back to Elvis when we come right back. You remind me too. We'll be right back.